One of the most powerful features of secure chat is something known as recipes. Now, in order to view, edit, and create recipes, you do have to have administrator access. And once you have that level of access, creating a new recipe is simple. And a recipe is simply a list of instructions and tasks that are packaged together and run to provide information. Now, an example of this could be you've created a connection to the SQL database that houses your ERP. Okay? Let's say you use Sage. We can connect secure chat to Sage. Then we create this recipe, and the recipe would then be a list of instructions and tasks that you could run against the database to provide reports and ad hoc information at your leisure. So let's go through a quick example. To find the recipe page, we're going to simply click on the admin button here. We're going to go over to integrations and we're going to click on recipes. Now in this example, I've already created a test recipe. And so we're going to simply click on edit. And the first things you would want to do is give it a name, a description. You would list a priority if and only if you had multiple recipes that had overlap in terms of what they actually did and you wanted secure chat to be able to discern when it should use one over the other. In most cases, you're going to leave this at 0. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually set the data source. And so in this example, we have a Sage ERP that we want to connect to. And we're going to assume we've already connected that database. And so it's a SQL database. I'm going to select the data source. I've titled it test data source, but imagine it says Sage data source. And the next thing we want to do is we need to give it the information or the instructions, the steps. Okay. Now, I don't know SQL. How am I going to do this? Am I going to have to hire somebody that knows SQL to write the custom statement that I need? No, we actually have a really cool feature called Write SQL with AI. And so this allows you to conversationally ask the questions. And so a simple example could be, show me all sales by John Doe last week. I would click on the Generate SQL button, and then the SQL statement query would be populated below. I would simply click Use in Recipe. Okay? Once I have my recipe or my SQL statement, I can then further refine. I can utilize the filter, sort, and count features below. I can go to the Output and Visualization tab, and I'm then able to further refine if I want a table and graph, or a graph only. I can select the graph type. A really, really important feature is this checkbox here, generate a consistent branded graphic on every run. If you have configured your company's branding within Secure Chat, this is a powerful way to ensure that no matter who runs the recipe or when they run the recipe, the report they get is going to have the same consistent look and feel. And we recommend checking this box. You can further add some additional customizations here. And then lastly, you can set triggers and parameters. Once you're done, you can click Save and Preview, and clicking Save and Preview will go ahead and run the recipe in the chat and output the results.